I am pleased to share that President Xi, during our meeting today, committed to providing visa-free access for Canadians traveling to China. People have always been at the heart of this relationship. Canada is home to a Chinese diaspora of nearly 2 million. That was Mark Carney, Prime Minister of Canada, speaking from Beijing after a historic meeting with Xi Jinping, announcing visa-free travel between Canada and China, allowing stays of up to 30 days without a visa. 300 million potential Canadian travelers to China. 2 million Chinese Canadians reconnecting with their ancestral homeland. 300,000 annual Chinese tourists to Canada, set to expand dramatically. And meanwhile, United States border cities are watching in disbelief as their tourism revenue begins to evaporate. Trump believed pressure would force Canadian submission. Instead, it created the conditions for a Canada-China rapprochement. While Trump threatened annexation and imposed tariffs, Canada built alternatives. While the United States levied 100% tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles, Canada negotiated a 6.1% rate. While Trump alienated allies, Carney flew to Beijing and secured a landmark partnership. The shock is complete. American border cities have just lost their primary advantage. Today we will show you exactly how Canada-China visa-free travel is transforming North American tourism. How 300,000 Chinese visitors previously routed through U.S. border cities. How visa-free access removes that bottleneck entirely. How Trump's trade war pushed Canada closer to China. How U.S. border economies suffer without Canadian-Chinese transit traffic. And how this partnership makes American intervention ineffective. Before we dive in, if you value analysis like this, hit the like button and subscribe to stay informed on stories that matter. January 16, 2026. Great Hall of the People, Beijing. Mark Carney met Xi Jinping, the first Canadian prime ministerial visit to China in 8 years. After nearly a decade without senior-level engagement, years marked by diplomatic freeze, the Meng Wanzhou arrest, the detention of the two Michaels, canola bans, tariff conflicts, and a complete breakdown in relations, Carney entered the meeting seeking a reset and emerged with a strategic partnership. The outcomes were significant. Visa-free travel for Canadians. Canola tariffs reduced from 84% to 15%. Preferential electric vehicle quotas. Energy cooperation. Expanded agricultural trade. Cultural exchanges. And most importantly for U.S. border cities, direct Canada-China travel without American intermediation. Xi described this as a turning point in relations. Carney echoed that language. Both leaders emphasized people-to-people ties, tourism, education, cultural exchange, and family reunification. The 2 million Chinese Canadians maintaining close ties to China and the 300,000 Chinese tourists who visited Canada in 2024 will all benefit from streamlined access. The details matter. Once implemented, Canadians can stay in China for up to 30 days without a visa. Canada joins 45 countries with this privilege. No application fees, no processing delays, no embassy visits, just a passport and a plane ticket. Simple, accessible, transformational. By comparison, U.S. citizens still require a visa for China. The process is complex, costs $140, requires an in-person consular interview, takes weeks, and approval is not guaranteed. This asymmetry creates a substantial advantage for Canadian travelers and the Canadian tourism industry. Canada's Chinese diaspora of 2 million is concentrated in Vancouver and Toronto, but spans Richmond, Markham, Montreal, Calgary, and virtually every major city. These communities maintain deep ties, family visits, business, weddings, funerals, holidays, property purchases, and investment. The connections are personal, economic, cultural, and intergenerational. Previously, travel to China required visas. Inconvenient, but manageable. Visa-free access changes the equation entirely. It removes friction, enables spontaneous travel, last-minute family emergencies, sudden business opportunities, all without bureaucratic delay. More critically for U.S. border cities, it eliminates routing through American airports. Many Chinese Canadians once flew via Seattle, San Francisco, or Los Angeles for cheaper or more frequent connections, spending money on U.S. hotels, restaurants, rentals, and airports. That traffic disappears. Direct Vancouver-Beijing, Vancouver-Shanghai, Toronto-Guangzhou. No U.S. layovers, no U.S. immigration processing, no U.S. spending. 2 million Chinese Canadians now have no reason to transit through the United States, a permanent revenue loss for American border economies. China is Canada's second-largest tourism source. 300,000 visitors in 2024, a 43% increase year-over-year. Pandemic recovery, restoration to China's approved destination list, rising interest in Canadian destinations. But here is the key detail. Many Chinese tourists previously entered North America via the United States, toured U.S. cities, crossed into Canada, then returned through U.S. airports. This generated significant revenue for American border cities. Visa-free access eliminates that model. Chinese tourists now fly directly to Canada. Lower costs, fewer hassles, simplified itineraries. Analysts estimate Chinese tourism to Canada will double to 600,000 annually within 3 years, all arriving directly, none routing through the United States. Canada will co-host the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Vancouver and Toronto are host cities. Millions of visitors expected. Chinese fans will attend in large numbers. Football is growing rapidly in China, and visa-free access makes Canada the preferred destination. Carney explicitly referenced the World Cup in Beijing, inviting Chinese visitors and promoting Canada as an open, welcoming country. This timing is strategic. For U.S. border cities, this represents a lost opportunity. Chinese visitors attending matches in Canada will stay, spend, and return directly, with no side trips to Buffalo, Detroit, or Seattle. Seattle-Tacoma Airport, Buffalo, Niagara, Detroit, all lose transit revenue. Hotels, outlets, airports, and border-dependent businesses feel the impact. Visa-free Canada-China travel removes the United States from the equation entirely. Even visa processing industries vanish. Travel agencies and consultants once servicing Canadian-Chinese visas, many based in U.S. border cities, are disintermediated. No applications, no fees, no services required, more lost revenue. This visa-free regime is not temporary. It is part of a broader strategic partnership: LNG exports, agricultural expansion, EV quotas, cultural exchange, education, and investment. The relationship is structural. Trump assumed pressure would force compliance. Instead, it accelerated diversification. Carney stated openly that Canada's relationship with China has become more predictable than its relationship with the United States, an extraordinary admission, but one grounded in experience. Trump's unpredictability eliminated U.S. leverage. Every threat pushed Canada toward alternatives. Every tariff made diversification urgent. Every insult made the China partnership politically easier. Direct flights will expand. Infrastructure will follow. Investment will lock in permanence. Path dependency takes hold. U.S. border cities lack policy tools to respond. Federal decisions determine visas and trade. Cities absorb the fallout. Carney framed visa-free access as a victory for sovereignty, independence, and diversification. For Canada, it is a competitive advantage. For the United States, it is a self-inflicted loss. Trump's pressure failed. Canada's independence was proven.